Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're talking about another city builder 2 weeks in a row.
Coming off a city builder into a city builder.
Yeah, and this one, named appropriately so, is Little Cities, made by developer Purple Yonder.
Which is a cool name, by the way.
Yeah, I love it. I even love it on the load-in. And then it's published by nDreams, which, you know, they've had a couple big games drop recently. They had a PC VR game called Frack Drop. They have Ghostbusters coming out. You know, they have this. So it's been busy times for nDreams, it seems. And this game's coming out tomorrow. That's May 12th. So I was excited. We got some early access on this one. And it's slated. I'm getting this from, a Reddit post I saw 1 month ago from the developers. I saw them post that it's going to be $19.99. So as of the time I saw that and today, that's what I'm seeing the
Hasn't
price as.
changed. I witnessed with my own eyes.
Yep. If this episode, if tomorrow the game drops and it's 25, I apologize. I was going off that Reddit post. So I see it as $19.99, which for $19.99, man, this one has a lot of bang for your buck. It's called Little Cities, named appropriately so. A lot of the concept is very similar to the bigger city builders like you might see Cities VR or City Skylines, even to the point that the zoning colors, like if you listen to our Cities VR review, residential zoning is green, industrial zoning's yellow, and commercial zoning's blue. Same exact colors in both games. It feels initially when you go in like a junior version of Cities VR.
Which is exactly what I think the whole premise was.
And I feel like at first I felt like that's why it was called Little Cities, but then as I play, I learned that there's 6 different islands to build on or cities to build on. So I'm like, oh, that's probably why it's called Little Cities, not because it's a mini version of
mini version of City Skyline.
Yeah,
but it kind of is.
Yeah, and I'd say the similarities show initially very strong, and yes, there are a lot of similarities too. But by the end of playing through it, all the 6 islands, it has its own unique feel to it. Especially in the atmosphere, the graphics of it and the music are kind of cartoony, but it's very fun. There's something about the game that in the entire time I'm in it, I'm happy. It's got very good feel-good vibes.
Yeah, and they've taken all the best aspects of Cities VR or City Skyline, and they brought it into Little Cities, but they've taken away any difficult element that might exist. Like if you didn't play either of the other two, typically when you build, like, let's say electricity or water, you have to run a pipeline through the area you need to provide water to, and then how are you going to get rid of the water? And then, it's a lot more detailed and complicated, where this is more of a, hey, you need electricity. Well, you have a windmill. You can put it down and it'll show you wind patterns, and you put it down on your little build space, and now your whole island has electricity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you have to, plan these electrical routes or sewage routes, and so it's the user interface and the playability of it is like really easy to pick up.
Yeah, whereas like we're big city builder diehards, we love them, so it was very easy for us to hop into Cities VR. For somebody new to the genre, I think this would be a way easier.
Little Cities, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whereas for somebody who's hardcore and wants to build real, true to life cities, they're gonna want Cities VR, because like back to this being a little bit more of a easier version. In Cities VR, you have all these different sophisticated road types, everything like that. You have one road type in this.
Yep, it's called road.
Yep. It's a road, and it's really simple to build. There's not highway systems. There's not like 4-lane roads. It's just
a road.
And then instead of it being kind of sandbox with your city, there's kind of a progression concept in this game, which for a lot of people newer to city builders, I think that's easier to follow along in. The concept of the game is you load in, and initially you pop into this island. You don't know that there's going to be multiple cities yet. Like, you just pop in and they start teaching you the game. They teach you how to build a road. They teach you exactly what you said about electricity and water. And even back to it being a easier version, you look at your utility levels and how they're doing by looking at your left wrist.
Oh yeah.
And this menu pops open, and all it is a bar of your electricity and a bar of your water, and then it'll show your population size and some industrial demand. There's no like sophisticated stat breakdown where it shows you which population is as educated, their needs fully. It's very simple. You don't even know the exact like input and output of your utilities, just that you see the bar full, you know? So it's real basic in that. The tutorial will walk you through that. And then from there, you're kind of on your own, and you see that you have levels of your city. And when you first start, really all you can build is utilities, being water and electricity, roads, and zoning. But then as you level up, now you can build cell towers. Then you can build a police station, fire station, a school. And what's unique about those ones, I know you mentioned the utilities, you place them anywhere, and then it powers your whole city. These are slightly more complicated in the littlest, you know, if you could see my fingers, I'm squeezing them the littlest bit. Being you place it and there's like a blue radius that it fills in, and then that's the area of your city that's covered by that utility. So you place your fire department, it's like, all right, the fire department's covering here. It's really not sophisticated at all. Just make sure your whole city's, you know, able to be covered in cell tower access.
Yeah, and it'll any like, you know, if you don't have enough residents, or which is pretty easy to like visually. I mean, again, they make everything in this like so user friendly.
Yeah,
it's over the top. It's like, even when clicking to build something, you got two choices. You can use your hand and physically move your hand and click it like a, you know, with your finger. Click.
Well, not your actual finger like hand tracking, but I know what you mean. Like click it with
because you have a like visual hand.
Yeah,
like
your in-game hand.
Yeah, funny you thought I was talking like hand tracking.
Yeah, because they say it's coming, and that's what my brain might have thought. But
I think that's like the perfect gear. Or you can just sit back and just do a click method, and that is a feature that for city building it's fantastic that it exists.
Yeah, they hit the interface out of the park because it's.
Yeah, I'd be stealing it.
There's something.
Definitely, that's a great user interface.
There's something that's very, like, aesthetically pleasing about clicking the buttons in this game, because they're all bubbles. So when you click it, it pops, and it goes back to the playful queue environment. But you know, you almost want to go through the menu. It's very very nice clicking through the menu. So they did a great job with it. It's easy to navigate.
Yeah, I find very little. I mean, like, legit, I have no gripes at all to like warn anybody about anything with the user interface.
Yeah,
it's real easy to use. It takes like a minute, and you go, okay, I totally get this. This is cool. I need to go back. Well, there's a red check mark. I go back. There's a little arrow that says to go back. I go back. I mean, it's so, and that's some of the things that can turn off people with city builders, is sometimes they can be a little over the top, like City Skyline. There's some crazy shit that, you know, you can take it to for levels.
Which for people who are city builder fans, they're gonna like that.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
enjoy it.
I mean, it's like, you know, I think I mentioned, you know, I definitely enjoy it, but
for somebody who's not into city builders or kind of new to the
or
genre,
you're
testing
new,
out,
this like nailed it.
man, I'll say if I was like, if this was my
You had
first
no
ever,
glitches either, right?
so I did have one glitch.
What was that?
It was actually, maybe I was doing something wrong, but I don't think so. The way I built my road, so on your island you have I guess a buildable zone, and as you move up in the levels, you get more buildable zone on that island. But you know, you have an outline of where you can build on, and you know, it's just the way I play. What I start is they give you like a little seaport entrance, I guess is what it is, and that's where you start building off of. So I outline my entire outside in road, and then I create like block zonings from there. Then after as I'm trying to build all of the block areas, sometimes I'll go to build off of the edge, and there will be a road I try to build on, or a block I try to build on, because everything in this game is block. Yeah. Like that's important to know. All the areas that you zone in, that you build on, it's all made in blocks. So sometimes there's a block I just can't build on.
Yeah, on the edges.
Yeah, either
Correct.
on the edges, or sometimes it's always along the edge. It's not always like a corner or something like that. But there's sometimes some blocks that.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and I think it's just because of since the islands aren't like a square, you know, or rectangular.
No, they're all odd shapes.
Yes, they're jagged shaped because it's an island. Versus, we'll say, like Cities VR is more of, you know, landscape. So you don't have to contend with those jagged edges like that. So I think that's the only reason you can't make a clear.
Yeah, but
Because I know exactly what you're talking about.
What the only reason it feels like a glitch to me is it never looks like that there's anything different about these unbuildable squares.
No, but you'll notice if you go to like, if you click on your like industrial or commercial and you look at the actual grid next to the road, you'll see that those areas aren't blocked out. Like they're empty. They're not part of that blockchain.
Yeah. Okay.
But I totally get you because
then
you
I
can't
feel like,
connect.
But then I feel like it shouldn't have a square that looks buildable on, right?
But you can. Here's the thing: you can.
But
you won't be because I'll do the same thing. I'll do the jagged run across the whole thing. In some areas, it almost looks like a stair.
100%, especially on some of the later islands.
So if you're willing to cut all that out, you could do a perfect square and then build outside of that. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it feels like a glitch. Maybe it's not, but I'll say it feels a little, I don't know, like, oh my God, what's going on here?
I got you. No, that's because you're trying to do a perfect outline.
Well, this is important to note too. When you get you see your build area, like I said, everything's blocks. So once you build a road, it goes from kind of like clear blocks to, I guess, like filled in a light transparent white block, which means that you can build zoning there. Like as you build the road, you'll see the blocks kind of fill in with a darker shade. So I try to get my whole area to either be roads or buildable zone, because when you build a road, it'll either be like 2 to 3 blocks to the left or right or wherever.
2 blocks on each side of the road.
Yeah,
per section of road.
Yeah, if it's possible, unless you're building on the edge, close
Correct.
to where, or you build your roads. Yeah, there's a lot of different situations that might not exactly occur like that, but theoretically, that's what happens.
In a perfect straight line down the middle of the island, yes. So you'll get the 2 on each side.
I try to get most bang for my buck, and I just feel like that the only way to do that is to build along the edges and then the zone from there, and then it also makes it easier for me to do my zoning. If this is my residential area, this is my commercial area.
Absolutely.
Because there's items that you'll unlock as your cities progress, where this one boosts your residential happiness or your commercial income or your industrial income. So it's like, well, if your things are scattered, you place those items, there's a little radius of the bonus. So you want it to hit as many, residential as you can. So if everything's scattered, you're not getting your maximum bonus. But if I have all of my residential people in an area, then I place one of those, boost residential happiness things.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy. I'm getting my maximum bonus. So that's why I do it too. So like I was saying though, in the first island, they teach you to like level like two or three. They don't teach you much, but it's enough. And then, you unlock a school and you keep going, and it's pretty easy that your island hits level 10. And you actually did it before me. This is one of those games that we're party chatting. We're not playing together, but we kind of are because we're party chatting.
Multiplayer.
Yeah, and we're at a pretty similar point at all times. So you hit level 10 before I do, and you're like, they made it clear in the island. It's like, hey, try to hit level 10, and I was like, you already hit level 10, and you're like, yeah. They had me place a city hall. Everybody got happy. There were some balloons, and I was like, my heart sunk for a second, because I was like, if that's this game, I mean, we played it for fucking 30 minutes. I was like, oh my God. I was so scared that was the whole game. And you're like, okay, it's taking me to a world map. You're like, all right, it looks like there's going to be other maps. So after you beat that first map, you get access to 2 other maps, which then if you beat one of them, then you get another map, then you beat another one, then you get another map until you have all 6 unlocked. There's 6 total maps. So
islands,
that's island cities, islands to make
They're
cities,
islands.
And it's cool because when you go on the island, example, you're on the middle one, you can see the island on the left and the right to you, way off in the distance. It's very low resolution, very low pixelated, but you can see it. So
the Horizon Islands, yeah.
Yep. So you can
if you unlock them.
Yeah, if you unlock them, and then once you build on them, you can kind of see the building outlines, and it's cool to be able to see your cities in the outline. And on the world map, you can see the cities that you've built. All the islands are kind of laid out in a straight line, and you can see when they're fully complete.
Yeah, they give you it's also on an adjustable desk that you'll see all your islands are in your little island home screen. So you can adjust the height of the desk, which will make life easier for you.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll also note, I said on the first island, you try to get to level 10 on your island. The other ones are longer. They go until 25.
Level 25.
And there's much more, every level that you level up, you will unlock either a new item. Level 10 on all the other islands, you get a cash bonus. It's a nice. Sometimes it saves my ass, but
Yeah,
you can tell
need
it's
it.
Yeah, it's a
Couple
little bit
of
of
them,
a.
you need it.
It's a little bit of a filler bonus, but I love that filler bonus. Give me another one, So that cash bonus, especially at level 10, because like sometimes I expand too fast, but nonetheless. So you either get items, cash bonus in one instance at level 10, or every island has 4 building zones, and you start with only 1 unlocked. And then I believe it's level 6 you unlock the second zone, then 12 you unlock the third zone, then 17 you unlock the 4th zone. Man, I had a lot of fucking fun with this one. So once you get all 4 unlocked, that's the only time you're going to be able to hit level 25 on it. You're not hitting level 25 with just 2 zones. I've come close with 3 zones on some cities that I've killed it.
I've tried.
I've gotten to like level 22 with just 3 zones, and I'm still outlining my 4th zone. So there's a good amount of playtime between to get all 6 cities maxed out. It's easy.
Well, and that's if you're trying to blaze through it too.
Yeah. If you take your time with it.
time with it, it's a different. It's a different game.
Like I say it's easy in the sense that like once you've gotten 3 islands maxed out, you feel pretty confident.
You get the flow
to how you're going to do it all. But every island's unique in geography. There's some that's one giant island. There's another one that's a giant island, but a volcano in the middle. And I say that one was probably the hardest for me.
That one was hysterical.
Yeah. Well, what sucks about that one is like, there's a fat volcano in the middle taking up a bunch of your build size. And like that can be inconvenient for when you're doing radius services, like your school, your medical center, your police and everything, because like, oh my god, it's just inconvenient. Now I got to build another medical zone. So that's annoying. And then also, it's a volcano. It erupts and it will shoot molten hot fireballs and burn your city. So make sure you have a lot of fire departments on it.
Yeah, that's the only solution to that. You don't have fire departments, but they're pretty generous when your building catches fire too.
Yeah, so I never really had too much of an issue with the volcano, like destroying a bunch of my city, because you actually did that island before me. We did the islands out of order. So you gave me a heads up. You figured out the hard way. I already knew. Like, make sure I have ample fire departments. Where I struggled with that one is I just made money really slow on that one until pretty far into the level upgrades. That one was just like, oh my god, I'm poor. Whereas other ones I would have like by level 12, 13, I'd have like, because you have weekly income, and it'll show you the day goes by on the little clock on your wrist. It'll show you that in like a little circle bar in blue, and then your week bar is right on the inside of that, and it's in yellow, so you can see as the week and day goes by. And then so you'll see, all right, weekly you make 600. Not that much. You gotta wait a long time to be able. Medical center costs $3,000. Zoning cost. All right, in Cities VR, zoning was free. Not in this one. You got to pay money to zone, and every zoning has different cost.
What's funny? I never even paid attention to that.
I did when I got broke a couple times, and I'm like, well, because what I always did is like when I unlocked the new.
I actually never was in that position to even know that building houses and shit.
Off the top of my head, residential is the cheapest. I think commercial is the second most expensive, and then it goes industrial, the most expensive.
Okay,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know how long would have gone by before I figured that out.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been broke before, but I usually just watch the.
I think it's just the order in which I do things, because it's like I'll unlock the next aspect of my island, then I'll outline my whole road structure, and then.
Oh yeah, you're spending a shit ton of money on road too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
when you
right
do
off the get-go.
That's so then I don't really have much left to. And then, I try to make sure I get my cell tower and everything all good. And then usually by then I look and it's like, because it's very friendly with the notifications. It'll be like, hey, it'll tell you there's, you need to build more police stations. There's part of your
cell towers.
So then usually.
Cell towers are very important.
Cell towers are the most annoying for me because they're a utility, just like the water and.
Cost money.
They cost money. They cost weekly money, which is never an issue to me. I make, like you said, buku dollars. I'm rolling in money on every city in this one by the end. So I don't mind that. But the other utilities don't have a radius. This one's a radius.
Yeah. So you might have to build 2
Several. So
just
like,
to go around one little structure.
Mm-hmm. So besides there being, that island that's a volcano, so another solid structure. Like I said, there's one that's just a solid structure with no like interfering things. These ones are my favorite, the little island ones that you literally
the desert
yeah.
islands.
Your zones, every zone is another mini island, so you build little connecting bridges to get to the next zone. It's always cool. And then there's other ones that are like sandy an area, and you literally have to build plants on certain blocks to remove the dust in the area so people are happy.
Cut down on the wind damage.
It also shows you your resident happiness on your wrist too.
Or to make your people pissed.
Yeah, and it'll tell you too. Like I said, they're very friendly with it'll show you the notification on your left, indicator, but it'll also show you like visually on the map. So if you need water, electricity, there's smog, the dust, whatever you need to clean it up, it'll show you like a little orange indicator above that building. So it's pretty easy to take care of everything.
No, everything they've done, putting it together. I'll use the word generous. Is generous.
Mm-hmm.
Their interface is generous. The everything about it. It's like you don't have to do a lot of. You can do strategy, but the basic rules apply here. Don't put noisy shit in residential areas.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put industrial and.
Well, I definitely have a strategy, and it just applies the same to every island.
Yeah,
but
just whip through the. But I like their progression system of things that become available on different islands that weren't. I thought each island was going to be pretty representative of the last.
That is actually important to note. Each island does have a couple unique objects, whether it's a concert or I don't want to get.
I don't want. All right.
There's some cool.
You got to earn some of them. So
yeah.
But I absolutely love it, man.
Yeah, no. There was a couple times while we were playing in party chat where, I just hear you go. You're like, I don't know what it is, but I just love playing this game. It makes me happy, and it's like, dude, I feel it. It's the environment, the music. It's really bright. It's colorful, which in console gaming I wouldn't like, but something about VR, it's so feel good. It's like
you brought that up instantly. You're like, there's something about VR that's just made for nice bright colors. And
yeah, it's good. It's really good, feel good. And initially, I won't lie, just like I had that initial scare when I thought that the whole game was over when you beat one island. There was a little bit of me that's like, oh my god, is this going to be too little kitty, too cartoony? Is this going to be too much?
I was concerned of that.
But as a fully grown man, it's nice. It works really good. They didn't go too far with it. They did just enough that it's like, wow, this is a feel-good experience.
It works. Mm-hmm. The way they did it makes sense and it works. So it's like, and I had the same thing you did when I saw the bright colors and shit. I'm like, uh-oh. Maybe this is like going to be dumbed down to the point where it's not made for adults. But that's not the case at all. No, it's absolutely, the colors add to that. To me, the island feel like it's a tropical island, so you kind of need some bright colors and stuff to stand out. It's nice.
And they do a really good job with the incentive of it. You want to progress to the next level, and then you want to do all 6 of the islands, so you have a really solid reason to turn it back on.
Then you want to go back and make your island even better.
So back to the kind of strategy thing, what I kind of do too is besides, building all on the outside, creating my block zones, getting maximum bang for my buck, whatever. The first save file I did, I like laid out all of my zoning, and like, this is where I think I'm gonna want my residential, my industrial, boom, I did it all. And then they were like, hey, you need more residential, and I was like, shit, I got nowhere else to build. So that's when instantly I learned. So what I do is they show you in the bars what you need for zoning, either residential, commercial, or industrial. And I just zone and build slowly as the need comes in. Because when you have everything taken care of, your progression levels will shoot up sometimes 2 or 3 levels in 45 seconds.
Just from building the upgrades to what they're offering.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if at any point you need more utilities, more cell towers, more zoning, anything like that, your progression go up is kind of stalled. So it's like, all right, if I can fill in their needs slowly as they come in until my city's fully built, I usually hit level 25 with like halfway through the last island to zone and build in. So then I go, okay, I'll just fucking fill in whatever I want now. Yeah.
Yep. No, I've done that. I've completed earlier than I kind of wanted to.
But I definitely think building in the needs that that they want as it comes in is very important to maximum progress through versus
absolutely.
pre-committing to it all.
No, you got to be, and you don't have to do massive pre-planning, but I would.
No, well, I
Not
do.
massive,
I do.
but
I do a little idea of like, okay, well, theoretically this is where I'll put my residential. Like I said, I do it in block zonings, but always subject to change if I only got a little. If there's only a little bit of build space left and they need a lot of commercial, and hey, maybe that was in my mind going to be for residential, but shit, it's got to be commercial now, No,
I always my strategy right from it doesn't matter. It's always the same, whether it's this cities or skylines. Right at the main entrance of the road, I go far off to that's my industrial area. And this one right at the start, because they're not like huge islands. You don't have a lot of wiggle room.
So right off of your seaport that they give you to build, that's your industrial?
That's my industrial.
See, I always
and
do
then
it
my residential goes all the way to the ass end of it, and then I do like two roads for residential and do one strip, and then I build instantly, like, we'll say maybe like 10 little blocks of commercial, and then I sit back and go, okay, let's see what happens, and then I'll watch all those bars come down.
We literally do industrial and residential backwards and commercial the exact same.
Well, you know why I don't like doing
I put residential right at the start, and I always go industrial way at the end, usually by the sea and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then I'll always do exactly what you did with the commercial. So our commercial is exactly the same.
Well, you can mix commercial and residential, and you don't get any ill effects to that.
Commercial zoning to me that's my buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
between like a blocker commercial between the industrial and the.
Yeah, because we didn't mention this, but
the only reason I don't do commercial, or the residential at the seaport entrance is because I wouldn't want to live
on the seaport
in a house.
No, I always
right off the entrance to an island. I'd want to be like in the back.
I feel that 100%. I always feel like the areas I put my industrial, like that's like the nicer area.
You're giving up the prime real estate.
The reason I do that is because like that there's some seaport upgrades like coastal airports and stuff like that that upset citizens, and that's also like I don't know. I always figure I'm gonna do like for the same reason Cities VR. It's like I'm gonna do industrial dumping. Out in the sea, like that's where I'll put my industrial area. I want my residential right where it starts and builds. Kind of the same thing in this. Like I said, you can build a coastal airport in some of the islands. So you build an airport right on the edge, but there's several different items in this game that.
But that's the thing. And it's funny you brought that up because you're right. When I do the airport, right?
Oh, you just put it next to the seaport?
Nope. That goes on whatever island that I unlock that you now get the seaport afterwards. I put that at the very end of the island, and my residential is off the bridge coming into the island because I'm like, it's a beautiful bridge.
Yep. Okay.
So my residents can deal with that.
So then when you get to the second zone of your island, you invert it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting though.
Yep.
Mine is whatever they need.
That way when I put shit there too, if it's a big radius, like
you get both
enhanced boost, I can maybe get a little piece of both islands for
that way you're ending with residential and starting with residential. I feel that.
And I didn't plan that. That was just by design of
the way it goes.
Oh
yeah. No, that's actually that's really interesting. It's cool how many different strategies there are and they all work. But we didn't mention this before. There's several items like your utilities. So like your windmill and your water plant, cell towers, airports, industrial zoning in and of itself, panels. They all upset the residential area. So if you go straight from industrial to residential and those two zones are touching, the residents that are living right along the industrial line are going to have an unhappiness boost, as if the residents are touching any of the utilities or any of those airports, anything like that. So that's why we were saying we put the commercial zone as the buffer, because I think it's either 1 or 2 blocks that you need a space of for or that the unhappiness will affect. So you go industrial, then buffer of commercial, then residential, you get no unhappiness boost. And also
they don't make you it won't give you an upset rating for that.
No. So that's just like maximizing your gains on that one. And also because of that, I always put my utilities and shit like that in the industrial zone, or I build my cell towers in the commercial zone and have it bleed into the residential, because you don't get any unhappiness for utilities or cell tower in the commercial zone either.
But to have a water tower, you have to put it on the groundwater markings on the actual island. So in some cases, that'll really dictate where you're putting what.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Because of that, so there's upgrades that you can get as the missions progress, where it's like it upgrades your water treatment areas, but it does a small radius. So in my mind, I'm like, I kind of want to keep my my water towers together.
Yeah, some shit's dictated for you.
Yeah, the way it usually goes for me, one of my zones ends up being like fucking utility zone.
Oh, like 4 windmills all together.
And 4 water things, 100%. And
if I see that they got the really strong wind direction arrows, like coming in strong on like a coastline, I'll drop 3 or 4.
It's serious industrial sector, dude. It looks wild.
Wouldn't want to live there.
No. And it's like I build all my industrial zone, then I build a windmill there, destroys some of the zoning. So it's like, all right, I know I'm gonna have to build some more industrial somewhere else. So it's like, yep, all right, this area, that's where it's all going. Like, sometimes it looks pretty comical. And conceptually, it's funny. It's like I have 4 islands that are touching by bridge, all powered by one island, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, that would work.
Yeah, it's just cool.
It's your nuclear island.
Yep. If anything goes wrong, it's just that area, I'll tell you that much.
I want more islands.
Yeah.
I want, like, a fleet of, like, hundreds of islands.
Yeah, like, man... They have a lot of potential with this game, with updates, DLCs even, like, if I saw an update that, because, 6 islands, and it's a blast. Like I said, you can speed run, you can speed run through it, and it's still going to take you a good amount of time, and you're going to be, excited to go on it.
Speed run through it, you're talking some major battery kills going on.
Oh, yeah, this one's another battery eater.
Speed run in days.
Or you can take your time, and it's going to take a while. But either way, because it's such a good game, you're going to leave it wanting more cities. More islands. It's the way it goes. So they have so much potential. If they want to do just new regular islands, mega islands that go to 50, a Christmas island. You build in the North Pole. Dude, you name it. There's so much potential in this game. And whether they want to do free updates, free islands, DLC ones, I don't know. I looked when I finished this experience. It's like, wow, that was a great experience. Worth $20, no doubt. And there's so much room for more, and not in a bad way. Not like, wow, it's unfinished. Just, I don't know, great platform to grow on.
Oh my God, yeah.
And in just a bit we can get into our final thoughts and rating, everything like that. But something I kind of want to say before that we've made the comparison a lot to Cities VR because it's the obvious comparison. Just came out the week before.
Yeah.
Just reviewed it. It's also a city builder. So it, there's a lot of similar elements. So it seems, very obvious to make the comparison, but I almost feel bad doing that because the obvious thing that comes to mind in doing that is, oh, which one's better? And in the end, like, these games kind of are hitting such different markets of city builders that in my mind, there's not one that's better or worse. They're different enough, and there's enough differences that they're their own unique thing. I like them both for different reasons. I want some feel-good, quick, progression system city builder. I'm going to go Little Cities, but I want to go really sophisticated. I'm probably going to go Cities VR in the same sense that, somebody who loves city builders and they're a hardcore fan and they want to build something super sophisticated, Cities VR is probably going to be better for them. But, somebody newer to city builders, I might point them to Little Cities. It's not because one's better or worse. They're just doing different things, So I think that's important to say before it sounds like, oh, wow, you guys really like Little Cities more. It's like, no, it's not that. They're different. And they're, in my mind, one's not better than the other. They're 2 great city builders.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, what's cool is there's more than enough room on the Quest store for even more city builders. So we're definitely not oversaturated. No, they both bring, listen, if anything, they all are paying the homage to Skylines at the end of the day. So
you can feel the influence there in Little Cities.
It's just the different levels of how do you want your game style to be. Like you said, do you want to go very detailed? Well, then you'll jump to, and this is exactly how I know for a fact I'll be. I will do Little Cities when I just want to chill,
vibe,
and because I was even like laughing on the party chat, like I'll fucking relaxed I am playing this. I'm like, this is really cool. And then if I want to go deep, I'm just gonna jump into the different land environment too. It's like it's all islands and
different art style.
The background stuff going on in little cities. They'll have like little hot air balloons, and when they fly behind you, you'll hear them like.
It's pretty cool.
They got jets, and they got when you advance or upgrade your fire department or police department, they use helicopters instead of cars to put out fires and shit. And it's like, I don't know, it's just a different experience.
Yeah.
And, Cities VR is more micromanagement style.
There's a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of detailed reports.
Yeah. This is more just, hey, well, here's the freaking needs of what your person. They want cell towers. Can you handle that? Build a cell. Poof! Look at that. It disappeared.
Hey, your energy bar is going down to halfway. You mind
maybe
building another?
Do something, you know? Yeah. I mean, you could go in there and miff it and build a whole thing of residents and go, whoops, that's not going to work. But different experience, but still
both are
pays homage to that. The traditional. You're going to have an entrance into your city. You need a freaking road. You need water. You need electricity.
And what's even cooler is if you really want to look at it as a non-competitive, like which one's better, and just that they're both two really good city builders, you could even say, look, you've never played a city builder before, right? Go buy little cities, beat all 6 islands, and when you want more, now you could probably handle, cities VR a lot better than if you had never played a cities builder before and then hopped in cities builder or cities VR, straight away. It's almost like, part 1 is little cities, then part 2 is cities VR. You could really take both of those games and honestly take somebody who's never played a city builder before and, all right, start them in little cities, progress all the way through, and then they're going to have a really good time with cities VR, in my opinion. So I think if you look at it more cooperatively than competitively, it's great that we have both of them.
And I can also see on the other side, you're going to have some diehards that are going to...
Yeah, you're going to
little cities is going to be too easy. I mean, it is easy. I'm not going to tell no lies. Like, it's just not as complicated as...
Yeah, especially for us with city builder experience, it was like, oh, shit, I already know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like just even the whole... utility management system they have going. It's just a lot easier.
Yeah, it's very simple.
So I could see somebody saying, but where I think they're going to get people is the price. $20, and they're going to give you more content down the road. It's like, come on, becomes a no-brainer now. This isn't like, okay, it didn't cost me $30 or whatever the case.
Yeah, that's like I said,
price to me is spot on.
Man, yeah. Well, I don't want to give up my score things because we have the value aspect, but I will say for $20, dude, fuck. There's even a point where we were playing in the party where you were like, "What's the cost of this?"
Yeah, what's the actual cost going to be?
We're like $20. This is wow.
Yeah, this is one where I thought it was going to be more like 24. When you said 19 and then pulled up some proof of that, I was pretty stoked. I was like, wow, okay. That's I get what they're doing here.
Which goes back to it being a great city builder introduction for somebody, who maybe doesn't want to spend $35, $40.
And originally, I think this was supposed to come out before
Cities VR. But they said, hold up, for reasons. Maybe it's because they had the Ghostbuster announcement. Maybe it's because they didn't want 2 city builders dropping the same week, which I think is smart. Yeah. But they said, let's delay this a couple weeks, and then we're going to release it. So it has been nice to have the spaced out city builder release.
Oh, yeah. It would have been cool if this had come out like a month prior to Cities VR, but
that way people could get their toes wet with city builders, then go into the sophisticated one.
Yeah, I actually think both parties would have probably benefited off each other better in that scenario. And it's just, hey, that's life. That's the way shit works sometimes.
Yeah, lessons learned. But that's why I think that these 2 games together are set up perfect to be marketed together cooperatively versus competitively. I really hope it goes that direction.
Probably see it in a bundle in the store someday.
Versus which one's better? It's like, no, dude, sell them together. This is they go together, Yeah. So I don't know. Nonetheless, we can get into our final thoughts and ratings, but like always, before we do that, let's take a moment to get a message from our sponsors who, help keep the show afloat besides the listeners. Hey, Stratus, how you feeling today?
I am feeling ball-tastic, thank you.
Balltastic. So before we started recording today, you were telling me you coined a new term.
I have. I'm going to refer to the downstairs nether regions as my nut hut. That's
nut
my
hut?
nut hut area. So you want to keep your nut hut feeling and smelling good? Manscaped has you covered.
So, how's your nut hut doing?
Fantastic.
No bushes, no trees,
I am
no grass.
I am just free nut hutting it. I am loving life.
It's lawn mowed nice.
Lawn mowed nice.
With
Feels nice.
With your lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped.
Got my little refresh spray if I need it.
So yeah, we're definitely having fun talking about Manscaped.com, the leader in men's, self-grooming, I guess, accessories, right?
Absolutely.
If you enjoy Manscaped's products, check them out and be sure to use code word Ruff Talk VR for 20% off. And check this. Free shipping.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Their prices are good to begin with, let alone 20% off and some free shipping.
Yeah, so, be sure to visit there, shop around a bit, and use that promo code, Ruff Talk VR, all one word.
Keep that nut hut living good.
Clean, shaven, and smelling nice.
Absolutely.
All right, so as a reminder for anybody, in case, this is your first time you've listened to the podcast, and in case it isn't, I apologize, you get to hear this again, but our rating category is 1 to 100, but we break it into 5 categories of 1 to 20, with the total making up the final score. The categories being gameplay, aesthetics, functionality, replayability, and value. Meaning how worth it is the game for the price tag. So starting with gameplay, I'm gonna give them a 20. It's a city builder. It's simple. If they were going for a realistic feel in the graphics, in the music, in the gameplay style, I might be more inclined to gig them on the lack of sophistication. But the name's Little Cities. Everything about it is very obvious that it's going to be more simplistic. It works with the feel of the game. If it was more complex, I don't know if it would actually feel right in that environment and graphics and music, if that makes sense. So I think that the way it's so simple worked for what it is, and because of that, I feel comfortable still giving them a 20 on gameplay. So 20 for gameplay. Aesthetics, I'm gonna give them a 20 as well, because look, it's not the best graphics. It's not like real VR fishing. That's always the standard I set. But between the graphics, the music, the environment, it's a home run to me. I loved it. You look at like some of the bigger games on consoles. People are gonna laugh at me for calling this bigger games, but like Fall Guys. That cartoony graphics. Sure what it's so what it's not realistic. That's not what they're going for. So because they're going the cartoony aspect, man, they did great with it. I can't see what they could have added. Even like you said, they have little planes and hot air balloons. You level up, the balloons shoot up. They even added in some minor. You can see your islands in the distance. Yeah, aesthetics, I'm giving them a 20. Functionality, hey, look, I get it. I'm overly critical. I'm so mean. Wow, I'm so easy to gig people. That's life. Sorry. I got to give them a 15 on functionality. And somebody's going to say, dude, just as you pointed out, what's going on with the block or whatever. But that should be way more obvious in the user interface of why I can't build in the rows. It feels really weird, and it can kind of mess up with some ideas that you have in mind of, all right, well, now I got to fucking, go around it, I guess, or whatever. So that's pretty annoying. And then this is probably also on me thing. It's the way I play or whatever. But there's an undo button, which I love. I love the undo button. It's great. You can undo one last move. So I build my road wrong. Cool. I just hit undo. Because of where exactly the undo button is located in the menu on my right hand, sometimes I've accidentally, not sometimes, after 6 islands, there's been a good amount of times that I accidentally click it. And look, maybe I'm the only guy in the world, but it's like, oh, I just built a long road, or I just placed my thing perfectly. Now I got to redo it. So I wish that the undo button was a little bit more off on the side versus just underneath where it is. I know it's minor, but when it happens so many times over, all right. So I gig them 5. It is what it is. I'm giving them 15 on functionality between those two. Replayability, I'm going to give them 15 as well. Because you go in, there's like 10 save slots. You can play all 6 islands 100 times if you want. But there reaches a certain point where you're going to do all the islands and you're going to want more. Is that any fault to them? No. I mean, awesome. And I'll be the first one that if I see a new island tomorrow, I am on there day one, excited. Shit, you could probably even sell me DLCs on this game. Like, I loved it. I want more islands, but there reaches a certain point that you probably aren't going to play it again yourself and more show it to somebody, recommend it. Cool that they have other save slots, but I'm personally not going to go start over. You know, I'm happy. Boom, I get to see all my islands maxed out. I'm ready for more to come, you know, but it is what it is, you know. So replayability, I'm going to give them 15 in value. Just like the price tag $19.99, $20, I'm going to give them a 20 on value. This one's a steal. You know, if you've tempted on city builders or if you like city builders, man, $20, you know, between the 6 islands, you're getting way more than $20 worth of playtime on it. You know, yes, there's a wall you're hit. You've done all the islands, but is those 6 islands worth $20? Yeah, I'd say. The amount of enjoyment I had, absolutely. So $20 on value, so 20, 20, 15, 15, 20. I'm giving them a 90.
It's not bad at all.
No.
It's actually really good. All right. I freaking loved it, man. I mean, again, $20, it just resonates in my head. It's like Steel City. Gameplay, clean 20. Loved every second of it. Sadly, I didn't. Well, no, it's a clean 20. What can you say? You said pretty much a lot of the same things. We only differed in a few areas. Aesthetics, I actually give them a 15. I know they're not going for photorealism. I think they actually did a really great job with like some of the background shit that's going on, like the balloons you mentioned when you know, something like you finish the island or you level up. The jets that fly over, you can kind of zoom into them. You can use your left joystick and zoom up and down for get real close, or you can, you know, use the grip button and kind of a wrist movement to move around. You can get pretty close to the jet. The detail's cool. It's there. I guess if one were to really beef, they'd be like, there's no people in the balloons. These are empty balloons, like the hot air balloons. And then they got the hang gliders, you know. So the level and detail is phenomenal in that, but not as so tight in the buildings and shit. But not enough to really like harbor about it, because I'm not expecting photorealism. But 15, and you're right, the music's good, you know. So they do deserve credit for that. Functionality, a 20. I don't mind the obscure edging, you know, around the island. Although I'm with you, I'd love to have the boxed in thing, but I kind of appreciate, like, I think that's why they did it, was to give it more of that, you know, no island is going to be a perfect square, which traditionally with city builders, you can get away with doing the squares real easy. Or even I think in the old Sims, you could do squares like on an island setup. But, yeah, man. So they get a 20 or a 15 on aesthetics. Functionality, oh, that's what I was. Sorry, I backtracked. Was the 20. Replayability, I agree with you. I'll be the first one to jump on a new map. I was really torn on this one too, because I really want to give it a 20. But I already know, like, the next thing I'm going to do is kind of use one island for each thing. And do like, oh, I'm going to try to do an island and make it all residence, then do an island and make it all commercial. One section of the, you know, but after that, my novelty will start to like run a little dry. And that might be because of it's simple. It's not, you know, going to like really suck you into, but a 15. And I feel bad about it because I do. I really want it. But download comes, or like you said, some DLC. Yeah, I'll be on it as quick as you will, for sure. Value for money, clean 20. Worth every penny. I liked how you said, you know, is 6 islands for $20 worth it? Yep. We got hours. I mean, hours of gameplay in on this. That was not, you know, I mean, granted we have full-time lives and shit, but playing every day to try to get to, you know, all 6 islands is pretty crazy. It wasn't like you're going to breeze through this in a couple hours and be like, finish this game in 3 hours. I don't think it's possible. I really don't. So they get a 20. I'd put it as for city builders, if you're open, to a new experience, you know, but you've played city builders, I would definitely buy it. And if you're new to city builders, it's like you said, a great intro. Get your feet wet, kind of learn the basics, and then go into the more complicated. Oh, I have to run pipes and I have to run utility lines and shit. So yeah, definitely. So they get the same score as you, 90.
No,
Sorry, I miffed up. I backtracked.
No,
I
it's
still
okay.
still wanted to talk
about
about
the
the aesthetics.
but no, yeah, you gave 15 on aesthetics and 20 on functionality.
20 on functionality.
And here's the thing: while I was saying my aesthetic score, I was thinking to myself, I could see the argument, somebody being like, "Dude, it
no,
should
but
be
you
a
know what
15."
saved you? I mean,
But it's only because of the theme they're shooting for.
yeah, no, you.
But I can see the argument that
it's a
15.
15.
I can see it. I'm not willing to die on that hill. I think either's correct.
That's how I was with the replayability. I'm like, it really could be a 20.
And I feel bad. I really wish I could say, like, dude, you're gonna finish it and start over. Like, I wish I could. I agree with you. I wish I could give 20 on replayability. No,
and I will say, you know what? I'll disclaimer a whole bunch of shit too, because this holds to be so true. This is a brand new game. I'm telling you, like the ink's not even dry, and everyone's got this.
Yeah,
was gonna have this game.
They have some updates already announced.
Yeah, so you're gonna listen to this, and it's like what everyone hears the day they hear this could be different 2 weeks later. It's like
they say that in, I think, June they're dropping hand tracking. Then in July, I think it is, that they're going to drop more like objects and aesthetics and stuff. And then they say more coming soon. It's like, yeah, who knows where this game's going to be in a year.
If they continue to put out some shit for this on a continual basis, I don't see any reason why. You know, that's when you'd have to change my score to a 20.
Yeah,
for replayability, because
100%. I hope we do have to change it one day, because I hope that's the case.
Dude, I'd love just one giant, massive freaking island.
Yeah,
just a massive
big
island.
Go to level 50 or sandbox, or go to level 50, but it's kind of sandbox.
Yeah, no, there's so much potential, and it's like the price, dude.
They really knocked it out of the park with user interface, with the bubbles, everything, the movement, the way you move. You can go real close down.
It makes a cool sound.
Real far away. It's very user friendly.
Honestly,
to move around. They knocked it out of the park there.
Their user interface is so damn good for city building.
It's
some of the best. If I were cities, I'd be like knocking on their door, going,
like, "Can we use this?
Can I?"
Yeah, it's so good. It's a phenomenal.
What do we got to do for that code?
And it, like you said, it's outlined for hand tracking. It would be so easy to make. Back up. Easy in terms of like changing the interface and everything. I'm sure it's a pain in the ass to develop. That's not what I mean.
But you can feel it's designed.
It's already built. Yes, it's already designed with hand tracking in mind.
Definitely. It felt like, even though you're using controllers, it felt like hand tracking.
Mm-hmm.
As dumb as that is, because you have the
I know
control in your hand, because you're just...
Sometimes I forgot I had the controller.
Yeah.
As dumb as that sounds, it's like, because you see your little invisible virtual hand. And, man, there were some people who were saying, Cities VR wasn't real VR, and they're probably going to say the same thing. They're saying
3D
it's like
gaming.
3D game. It's VR gaming to me. I'll die on this hill. I don't care.
The diehards will say the same thing about this, though.
I don't need every experience to be first person. You are I can do third person top down strategy games all day. I want Civilization in VR. I want board games in VR. I want every strategy. I want Age of Empires in VR. I want those type of military strategy. I want you, dude. Like, I don't think everything needs to be a first person.
No, and
immersion.
I mean, it shouldn't have to be, because then from a professional standpoint,
you're limited.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you're an accountant, maybe you could do taxes in VR, right? Yeah. But one could go, well, that's not real VR. You're just doing spreadsheets and shit.
Can I tell you the truth? There's yet to be a third-person VR experience that we played. Even Deism, which is a God game app lab game that we haven't, a God mode app lab game, I should say. It's one of those. We'll have an episode.
Yeah.
We've been playing that one for months, but that's a top-down one too. And there's yet to be a top-down game in VR that I've disliked. Every single one I've liked.
Oh yeah, dude.
And don't get me wrong, there's probably plenty of bad ones I haven't played. I'm just saying it works.
Like, VR, like, in its true form is real new. So it's like, who's anybody to be the expert
and say, nope,
that is not virtual reality? It's like, well, it is,
And look, the reality is, years ago, Oculus and other VR companies did do a lot of, user surveys to find this is what, got the best reception and everything like that. But a couple things on that. Gaming markets change so much in years. So what may have been the case in 2016, 17 is not the case in 2022. I mean, culture changes. And as well, so if you do, imagine you do something and it's like, nah, I'll save that. We'll do an episode dedicated to my rants in that field. I'll get real prepared for it.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, yeah. Just because something applied 5 years ago, it might not be the case today. So culture changes. People get more ready for different things.
Well, and people also get certain ideas in their head, and then it's tough to get out of them. And it's like,
nope, top down doesn't work. It's
and how many? I mean, even take VR in itself. Like, how many times have we heard people who are like, I thought the Oculus was going to be shit, and then I put the headset on, and oh my God, I had no idea it was. Yeah, but a week before you had no idea.
Yeah, so it's
you were running your mouth about how crappy it was.
When you asked people if they were interested and they said no, it's because they didn't know that they were interested.
Yeah, so it's like there's just different levels to everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't call it not virtual reality, call it 3D gaming. I don't really care. The fact VR that I can put a headset on and be inside a 3D game, how's that? I can't do that on my Xbox. I can look at my TV and go, I'm looking at my TV.
It's VR to me, and I'm loving top-down strategy games. So like I said,
Absolutely.
Keep them coming. The day Civilization drops in VR,
you're not going to give it up.
Dude,
I want Red Alert too.
I want board games.
I want Red Alert too. I want an old school.
Look, we were bitching about city builders for a while. We got two phenomenal ones. Like I said, in my mind, it's not which one's better, which one's worse. At different markets.
They're both fun as hell.
We got two. Now give me Civilization, baby. Give me my military strategy games. All right. Nonetheless, I think.
Hold on. You know what I think the problem with the undo button is?
What's that?
It looks like a back button.
Yes, but I can understand
that's the reason why
you get used to. No, that's not actually when I'm pressing it. I'm not intentionally pressing any button.
Really?
It's just my hand swipes.
You swing in your hand,
and then the accent. And I'm like, oh, you bastard.
I was like, because I only hit it once, and I'm like, oh shit, it looks like a back button.
It does look like a back button, but there is a cancel button that's like a red X, whereas the undo is like a blue circle going backwards.
Yeah.
I could see somebody having that issue as well.
Yep.
For me,
I didn't know that was your issue. I did it once, and I was like, oh, okay, there is nothing to go back to from that.
Just watch the podcast on YouTube. I'm fucking swinging my arms around, talking. You can only imagine me building on a city builder, press, So, yeah, I would like it if the undo button was a little bit farther off. And I feel bad giving them 5 points on that for the
build button and.
Somebody's going to be like...
being a baby about the road.
Somebody's going to be like, yeah.
Nah, at the end of the day, dude, 290s is killing it. You're crushing it.
Great game. Great job to nDreams. Purple Yonder. Awesome name. Great game.
Can't wait to see the growth.
Yeah. No, I'm real excited on this one, so...
Ghostbusters, baby.
Yeah. And that one's
the fact that they're doing this, I'm haunted by that.
Ghostbusters is going to be co-op.
Dude, yeah, it has to be.
We're going to be a co-op adventure. Ah, man. All right, so
yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this episode, like I always say, subscribe.
Little cities, big fun. Little cities, big fun.
Subscribe, rate us 5 stars, join the Discord, the subreddit, all that fun stuff, and check you out next week.
Take care.